You know, it just popped up from your Zoom workplace and Zoom meetings, and just put that down again, because. Yep. You're live.
Morning, Ron.
And hello, Josh. Haven't seen you in a while, even though I'm only seeing a picture.
Which was
Josh.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Josh.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is Mark Browning, the commissioner. I'm substituting for Martin Patterson today, or at least until I think he's going to be here later. We'll go through roll call this time. Commissioner Town. Here.
Here.
Commissioner Ibarra here.
Here.
And of course, we have with us also Commissioner Torney
Here.
and our coordinator, Kristen Johnson.
Here.
As well as the man behind the scenes, George Choi, and the everlasting presence of Karen. I hope everybody has had a chance to review the agenda that has been put out there in space. First item of business is the approval of the minutes. Anybody want to make any public comments about the minutes that were submitted for this particular body's approval?
And I have a comment.
All right.
Do I make comments after a motion is made?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, I'll move that we approve the minutes.
Okay.
Second.
All right.
And
Discussion.
And I just have one comment. I just want to note on the page where it has motions by the commission, it lists 5 motions that I brought up at the meeting, but we never voted on those motions. So I just want to make it clear and have the minutes to reflect that they were never voted on. Neither up nor down, just weren't voted on. Thank you.
Does anybody from the public have any comments about the minutes? Anything to add or correct? Hearing no response, we will now vote on the minutes. All those who approve,
I
all those who don't, minutes are approved. Third item of business is Director Tommy Johnson from the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, his update. Director Johnson? Or anyone from the commission, from the Department of Corrections?
Kristen, are you aware of Tommy? Is he at a hearing or something?
He was on the mainland. I thought he was getting in before. I thought he was gonna be here. But I guess not. I know that he was traveling on the mainland. And he might still be.
Did he designate someone, which is the traditional protocol?
It does not appear that way.
Was there any communication between the Department of Corrections with us about whether or not they would send someone who was here today?
No.
None.
No, I made sure that Director Johnson and the department was aware of the schedule change last month. I know that he updated his calendar to incorporate that. But I don't believe that he chose a delegate to send.
Thank you.
Interim.
Chair Thompson, please. No, you know, we want somebody who knows what they're doing.
Morning, Mark Patterson.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. Go ahead.
I have a comment, either Mark Browning or Mark Patterson, when you have a moment.
Go ahead.
Shall I go ahead? Director Johnson's not here. I think his voice is important. His presence is, I think, mandatory. That's the right word. We as commissioners have to be patient, dignified, and courteous. I don't want to be both patient, dignified, and courteous, but I think it's important to be here. I don't know how to get him here other than he needs an instruction from somebody that he, hopefully his own conscience, and hopefully that he will show up. And when he doesn't show up, it's the sound of one hand clapping. I'm not, I'd like to say I'm appalled, but I'm not appalled, I'm not, unfortunately not surprised. So I don't know how what the commissioners want to do, but it's, I don't think it's, righteous, that he behaved like that.
Let me add, because it's at the last meeting, and it's reflected in the minutes, that we said it was, should be January 16th. Kristen, you said we need to change.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I want to make that clear, because you might come back and say, well, it's on the meeting minutes, January 16th.
No, we, no, I made sure, to immediately inform the director, that we did change our meeting times. And I was included in the email with his secretary to let her know to add that, to reflect it. I do know that he was traveling on the mainland. I'm not positive if he's still traveling on the mainland right now. But I think obviously the bigger concern is that he didn't send anybody in his place, even if he couldn't attend. Additionally, one thing I do want to add, and I have talked to the director about this, specifically, was that one of my concerns is that even when the director of the department did attend, they would stay for their portion, their agenda item, you know, that we put on for them, and then leave very shortly afterwards, which means that they're not hearing the reports, they're not hearing the updates, they're not hearing the conversations. I do think that they listen to the meetings afterwards, but it can be really challenging when there's moments that would be beneficial to have them when commissioners may have questions or want clarification, and there's nobody from the department to be able to add that in. So I just wanted to make sure that that was reflected in this meeting as well.
I just want to echo, Chair Patterson, if I may.
Yes.
I want to echo what, my fellow commissioners have said, particularly with Commissioner Town. I've been on this commission, as long as I've been on this commission, I haven't seen any instance where, this commission has not treated him with respect and aloha. We have to, part of our mandate by statute is oversight. And therefore, that means that at these meetings, we have to ask questions about matters that we have investigated, matters that we have reviewed, and matters that we're charged by the legislature to handle. And it's difficult to do that when you don't have the department stepping up and being part of these meetings. I understand that Director Johnson, as head of a department for the state, is often busy with conflicting appointments and obligations. But I don't understand why he is not able to designate someone to come and participate and be part of the dialogue that would be very helpful for us to move forward with our mission and helping the department to achieve some of their goals or many of their goals, as he has articulated most recently in front of the finance committees of the legislature. Thank you.
Thank you. What, any comments from you or make moment going?
No.
Yeah. Since 2019, we've had 3 directors of public safety / DCR. With Nolan Espinda, Max Multani, and now Tommy Johnson. And we have seen in that time that this has been a journey of how do we build relationships between a commission who has oversight over a state department. With all respect to Director Espinda at the time, he may not have been part of our meetings, but he did send representation and was very active in our, at that time, we did not have Christian, but he did respond to us. Yeah, whenever we asked us a question or we sent inquiry, he was very good at responding. In fact, all the directors have been good at responding. Max Latani was actually our first director that participated in our meetings. And
And he would bring staff with him.
And he had his entire staff on camera with him. And by staff, we meant his deputies
And his PIO.
and his public information individual. And so we have a track record of previous directors and their relationships with the commission. Yeah. What is crucial to understand is that at that time, the first two directors, we didn't have staff. Yeah. And so the relationships we had was basically between the commissioners themselves and directors. And now we have staff. You know, it's even more crucial because the information that we're providing is more updated, live. Because if we go into a facility, the director will know within a couple of days what we saw or what we found. So the relationship should be a little bit more intimate. I think we as a state, the legislatures, especially the departments, have to understand that we are here to help them, to bring information to them that if not for the commission, they would not know. Right? And so if you look at since 2022 with just 3 staff, the amount of information that we have produced, it can be overwhelming on them if they're not prepared to have a relationship and understand how to build that relationship with the Oversight Commission so that we can assist in the many issues that have been prevalent in the correctional system. Yeah, I'm saying it like that because no matter what, the relationship has to be pono. Yeah, it has to be maintained, and from our perspective as the commission, handled with a lot of aloha. Yeah. So no matter what we hear or what is being said publicly, we still must respond with aloha. I want to make that clear with you folks, because only through and it's in the statutes on how we're supposed to treat each other and how we're supposed to. We have a mandate to change and reform a correctional system that has not been beneficial to the people of Hawaii. And that is what we need to focus on, and not get so involved in the personality issues that others will be uplifting, that will challenge us in that endeavor. And I'm saying that because I agree with everything that the commissioners have just said, you know, and there was a meeting that the director did not attend, and the community took that up. Yeah. And by the next meeting, he was back again. We need to understand, as the commissioners have in their professional lives, that as public servants at the high levels that we served in the state, we are always subject to opinionated public and community concerns. And it's our responsibility to listen, yeah, and to respond with aloha, and to look into these matters and to move forward, because we are servants of the public. Yeah, and it's never an issue of personal vendettas, et cetera, et cetera. I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm saying basically we will, my suggestion, Commissioner, is that we will put our concerns into a letter and address it to the governor, that we said that we cannot move forward with the system of improving the correctional system to be beneficial to the state of Hawaii if we do not have representation from the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Mr. Chair, is that a motion?
Do we need a motion, or can that just?
I think we need a motion.
I think you need a motion, but I just want to clarify real quick, so I might have missed it. Was public comment asked for on item 4?
I don't believe so.
Not yet.
Okay, so then we should,
We
open
can
up
make,
to,
we can make the motion and have public comment, or after,
it just,
okay?
like, it has to be before, discussion and voting. So yeah, it can be after, but it has to be before discussion and voting. Sorry.
So,
Okay, I'll open it up, this discussion that we've been having since we started agenda item 4 on my late entry. So I'll look at hands, or I'll look at digital hands, if anybody wish to have a comment on, for the presence of DCR, or the lack of the presence of DCR in our meetings at this time.
Kat?
Go ahead, Kat, you're on mute.
And Happy New Year, everyone. Let's hope 2025 is a successful year for all of us in Hawaii. I agree. I think it's absolutely crucial for the department to be at these meetings, either the director or his designee. I was kind of appalled at the fin hearing on Monday because the director actually told the committee there is no one on this commission who actually knows how to run a facility. And I thought, wow, he doesn't really know who's on the commission. And actually, when when Ted was on the commission before he passed away, that's when Tommy decided not to show up at the meetings because he felt that every recommendation was a criticism. And I had a big talk with the new chair of public safety in the House, Della Al-Baladi, and I did tell her one of the problems is that nobody in Hawaii really understands what oversight is. It is not a criticism. It's a way to keep the state out of lawsuits, to identify problems so they can be fixed. So there's a deep misunderstanding of what oversight is at the legislature. And I've been talking to people, but I think that's one of the problems. Thank you.
Thank you,
And I
Karen.
really appreciate your work.
Anyone else?
Ariane?
Carrie Ann, morning.
Okay. Hello and good morning, Commissioners. Carrie Ann Shirota, ACLU Hawaii. We strongly support the motion that you're about to make. We think it is critically important for the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to be present. I can also share with you, besides that budget informational briefing, we're hearing the same sort of comments from some lawmakers where they're already hearing that there's this rift between the Commission and DCR, and it's really becoming from reports of what the current director is saying. And I think it is important for the governor and for all lawmakers to be aware, to mention again your mandate that you are simply fulfilling. And the fact that he is not here or sending any staff members is egregious. For all of those who are here in the community, we get so many phone calls or letters from people who are either incarcerated or their loved ones fearful. We're even getting some contacts from people out of state who are housed at Saguaro. Just shows what's occurring in our facilities, both at home and out of state. And the mere minimum requirement is for the department to send at least one person. And this is a way to skirt around the issues that are present and to not be held accountable, because there's so many things that all of you have identified in your site visits that need to be remedied. And I think it's important, again, for lawmakers to hear the truth. And all of you have been respectful in asking your questions, but also being firm in asking follow-up. And that needs to be shared with lawmakers and the governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie Ann.
Liam?
How you doing, Liam?
Good. Happy New Year, everybody. Appreciate the work you're doing. And again, representing Reimagining Public Safety in Hawaii Coalition, which is over 20 organizations statewide working on public safety. Just want to very briefly support the motion and also emphasize that the governor appointed, if I'm not mistaken, Director Johnson, and that therefore I think the buck stops at the governor. So I think the letter to the governor is critical. These are his appointees ultimately. Even if he didn't appoint them, he oversees them. And so I think that's where this conversation needs to go. And just to echo what Ms. Shirota from ACLU of Hawaii said, we're deeply troubled by actually what we're hearing from Director Johnson about the commission and comments about there being a lack of expertise in the commission regarding conditions inside the jail, challenges faced in the correctional system. That's just categorically incorrect. And ultimately, all mudslinging aside, it represents a fundamental misunderstanding of what's happening and the role of the commission itself. So yeah, look forward to that letter going to the governor, and we're here to support that that voice and to amplify it as well. Thank you for your work.
Liam, how are the twins?
Doing well. Thank goodness, gaining weight, and we're grateful for the staff at Kapiolani Medical Center. It's actually unbelievable what we have here. We're blessed, and yeah, gaining weight's all I can say.
Terrific.
Yeah. Kapiolani is amazing. So glad to hear they're doing well, Liam. We've been thinking about you.
Thank you guys. I'm so grateful.
Go, Ron.
I'm the treasurer of Ohana Hopakele, and we've been trying to attend most of the monthly meetings. I wanted to emphasize to the legislators that it is not a personality issue that we're dealing with. We were very pleased that the Deputy Director of Rehabilitative Services joined in the Makahiki celebration at Saguaro on November 13th. So I think, you know, I think it's clear it's not a personality problem. We need to deal with the issues that are that the legislator needs to know that there are very clear issues that we need to together deal with, and I think they need to understand that. And I think we need to put the personalities aside, but really deal with the issues that are stated before us, because we're dealing with a huge amount of money that legislators are making decisions on, and I think that needs to be very thoughtfully and I think objectively addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. We're gonna move on and ask the commissioners at this time, no further testimony, for a motion.
I'll move second. You articulated a motion regarding,
I do it. Yes, can you say it and we'll just.
yeah, I'll try to, you, no one will say this one. Move to, have us, as a commission, send a letter to the governor regarding our concerns about the relationship that currently exists with the Department of Corrections. And what the impact we believe, the adverse impact may be, will be on the community as a whole if we are not able to address these issues that we hold in common with Director Johnson. I'm open to anybody amending that.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission draft a letter to the Office of the Governor to express our concerns over the absence and the representation of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation in our public meetings. And that as we move forward in transformation of our correctional system, it cannot be done unless cooperation from that office is forthcoming and transparent, so the community, for the community to be participate and to be aware of the issues at hand.
I want to make a comment. I would like, if it's agreeable with the other commissioners, that we all sign, all the commissioners sign this letter, not just be from Mark, so it's clear that we as a commission support this.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I know.
We can do that, George. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Any further discussion?
Well, only question I have, Chair Mark, is if the governor wishes to meet with us, we're always available. We have the examples of collegiality.
Yes. We can make a remark on the letter.
Yeah.
And we'll approve the draft of the letter. as a group.
Yeah,
And or his staff. Because I just don't get it yet.
and I'd just like you to consider that, in the letter, there'd be some discussion regarding his Director Johnson's comments, negative and disparaging comments regarding the commission. Because I don't believe that obviously people in the community are concerned based upon the testimony we've heard today. And that erodes the public confidence in this commission, one. Erodes the legislative confidence in this commission, two. And three, the bottom line is that it erodes the relationship with the members of this commission when we have, all we want are opportunities to work together, because what we want to do in terms of making corrections within the system are our concerns, in many ways are the same concerns as Mr. Johnson. And we just need to get past sort of this, whatever this problem is, this issue is regarding how he feels, and I'll take the word from his just a comments, then nobody thinks we're incompetent as a commission. That's essentially what he said. That he doesn't need us, doesn't want us. I get it, but we're here. We want to work with you. I have all the respect in the world for him. I'm sure every member of this commission does. And let's go. We want to go. And we want to support you.
Aye.
Thank you, Judge. No further discussion. We'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same. Any applications? Hearing none, motion passed. Can we get that letter out by the beginning of next week? Thank you. See you, Mr. Browning.
Following up on that, may I make a comment?
Yes.
So in light of all these issues that are being raised now, I also would like the commission to at least send meeting agendas to the legislators for key committee chairs who can sit in by Zoom, whatever, to see for themselves how the meeting is conducted. Also, I asked the commission to send agendas to police chiefs, public defender, prosecutors. And so that we can have them see for themselves the relationship of the public and the appropriate committee or the department heads with the interaction of the commission and what the commission is doing in trying to make the correctional system better. Yeah. So, put it in short, move that the agenda be sent to these people as I mentioned.
And you said key chairs, police chiefs and prosecutors?
And public defender. And the chief justice.
I second it. You can, Brand.
So it has been moved and seconded, moved by Ronald and seconded by Judge Browning, that we create a list that we will personally send invitations and agendas to our monthly meetings at this particular point in time. And there may be additions to this, but as right now, we're looking at the police chiefs of all the counties, the prosecutors of all the counties, the public defenders of all the counties, and the chief justice office as well, to begin in terms of initiating those contacts, so that we are requesting their presence at our meetings as well, so they know what's going on, because they are key players and stakeholders in the correctional system that we are trying to improve. So, with no further.
Chair, and the chair of the appropriate legislation.
Chairs of the appropriate committees are responsible for or within alignment with the mandate of the commission. Judiciary, Human Services, Public Safety, and the Finance Committee.
Okay. Judiciary, Human Services.
want to throw in the Department of Health. Well, that's Health and Human Services. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion pass. Thank you, everyone, for that. Before we move on, apologize for my lateness today, but it's good. I don't know when the last time all of us was present physically. This is the commission all in the office at the same time. This is gonna be a good year.
That's right.
I'm really happy that we're so all here. One day we're gonna have everybody in the community and us in the same room at one time. We'll that'll be a future plan now that we know that we can do this, that we're all here, and it's a good sign that this is happening on the first month of the new year. So I'm very happy to see everybody physically here. Okay, we move on to item number 6. Urgent call for system-wide plan before proceeding. And I just skipped one. I was doing all the even numbers first. We're gonna bring up Christian to talk about the overview of our 2024 annual report.
Yeah, the PowerPoint, George. Okay, George is setting up the PowerPoint right now. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm excited to go over all of the things that the commission has accomplished in the past year. It was a huge year for us.
Is this posted
The report, yep.
on the website?
Yeah, the report is, and then so the report is posted on the website. It was posted on December 26th, which is when it was due. The report was also sent to the legislature and the governor's office. And this PowerPoint that I'm about to go over will also be available on our website after the meeting. All right, so we can jump in. So starting off with the history of the commission. So in 2015, 5 stakeholders. This is forward. All right. So starting off with the history of the commission. In 2015, 5 stakeholders, including a Supreme Court justice, a state representative, a community member, a parole board member, and a warden, visited Norwegian correctional facilities and met with correctional experts in Norway, Sweden, Ireland, and England. This is of particular importance because Norway has the most humane and progressive correction system in the world. After that trip, the state representative created a task force which found that Hawaii's correctional system was not producing acceptable, cost-effective, or sustainable outcomes and needed immediate and profound change. That is an exact quote from that report. And in 2018, the task force report was released, and the creation of a correctional oversight commission was one of the key recommendations of that task force's final report. In 2019, House Bill 1552 was passed, which officially created the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission through Act 179. Today, the commission's mandate is embedded in HRS 353L. In 2020, the commissioners began meeting monthly, and in 2022, the first oversight coordinator was hired, which is when the office was officially opened. So here you can see our amazing commissioners and staff. We have Mark Patterson, who's our chair, Mark Browning, Ronnie Barra, Martha Cornet, and of course, Mike Town. Commissioners are all unpaid volunteers who by law must have extensive experience in the criminal justice system. And each commissioner is appointed by different stakeholders in the state, including the chair of OHA, the governor, the chief justice, the House Speaker, and the president of the Senate. And you can see each of those by each commissioner's name. The commissioners are our policymakers and choose the vision and direction of the work. And then the team are the paid state employees who take the commission's vision and bring it to life through all of our reports. So the powers and duty of the commission. So based on the commission's mandate, the commission really has 4 main functions: investigation, setting population limits, and monitoring and overseeing the reentry system, and also facilitating a correctional transition to a rehabilitative and therapeutic model. I highlighted the rehabilitative and therapeutic piece in the first block there because we truly embed rehabilitative and therapeutic practices through all of our actions and commitments. So every report, we create, every decision we make, every policy, a recommendation we put out, we really have the transition to rehabilitative and therapeutic practices in the front of our minds. So when we talk about oversight and public accountability, what does that look like? For us, it's our public meetings, public reporting, and then what we put out through, whether it be commenting in news articles, press releases, or public letters. So in 2024, the commission hosted 18 public meetings. That includes monthly meetings, House Concurrent Resolution 23 meetings, and also community input meetings. We also are one of the only entities in the state that report on deaths in custody. In 2024, there were 12 deaths in custody. All of the deaths are listed out with details within the annual report. The commission also posted 20 public reports, which included 12 monthly reports and 8 facility-specific reports. And in the media, the commission was quoted in 14 news articles, released 3 press releases, and submitted 3 public letters, which I think we have already beat that record for 2025. All right, so correctional facility tours. So correctional facility tours are imperative and at the core of our work because everything we put into our reports comes from those who are doing the work or experiencing situations within the jails and prisons. We consistently and intentionally talk to staff and people in custody, which inform all of our work and reports. And then we have a few notable tours there where we went to facilities for specific reasons. For example, the Halawa and Waiawa resource fairs, the Halawa commencement celebration, the Saguaro Makahiki, which was my personal favorite. And we also went to Going Home Hawaii's reentry housing on the Big Island. Here we have a list of all of our various recommendations for each facility. These recommendations range greatly based on what we're seeing in the facility or throughout the system at the time of our visits. And all of the detailed recommendations are outlined within the annual report by facility. So you can see that we have submitted over 60 facility-specific recommendations and 2 system-wide recommendations that all stem from facility-specific reports. For conferences, so an important part of the commission's mandate is to continuously learn and keep an ongoing study of best practices throughout the state, nation, and also in other countries. So to start off locally, the commission participated in or attended 5 various conferences that are all listed here. So the commission went to the Justice Innovation Summit, which was hosted by the Hawaii Friends of Restorative Justice at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Reckoning with Restorative Justice, hosted by Ohana Ho'opakele and the University of Hawaii at Hilo Research Office. The Breaking Cycles events, there were many Breaking Cycles events, and these kind of varied as far as the roundtables, the community meetings, the updates, and so all of those are listed out in the reports. But those were hosted by the University of Hawaii Community Design Center. We also attended the Hawaii Wellness and Resilience Summit, hosted by the Governor's Office of Wellness and Resilience, and the Hawaii Island Sequential Intercept Model event hosted by Going Home Hawaii on the Big Island. For national conferences, the commission participated in 2 national conferences and also 1 national webinar. So the Vera Institute of Justice hosted Design for Dignity, Transforming Prison. And then our chair also attended the 2024 annual conference hosted by the National Association of Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement. And the chair and myself attended the Prison and Jail Innovation Lab Conference, which really focused on deaths in custody. And again, within the report, you'll find all of the details surrounding each of those events. So strategic priorities. So earlier in the presentation, I talked about the core functions of the commission's mandate, which are investigation, setting population limits, monitoring, and overseeing the reentry system, and also facilitating a correctional transition to a rehabilitative and therapeutic model. So we took those core functions from the mandate and split them into oversight, rehabilitation, population limits, and reentry to really set the objectives and strategies that lead and organize the staff's work. The strategic plan was originally released in 2023, but it is considered a living document and the team still utilizes the plan to strategize all of the commission's work. The full strategic plan is outlined not only in the annual report, but it's also available on the commission's website, so you can check out all of the things that we're focusing on to this day. For legislative priorities, so in 2024, you know, although the commission was tasked with the HCR 23 task force and also had a bill that rolled over into the 2024 legislative session to make edits to the commission's mandate, the true focus of the commission was to be funded. We had a very intense legislative session last year where there was significant pressure to be funded, or our office would be forced to shut down. We are very fortunate that the community and various stakeholders came through for us and supported our work during the legislative session. The commission now has a permanent line item in the budget, which ideally will remain for years to come. However, to touch very briefly on the other two here, the House Concurrent Resolution 23 Task Force was assigned to the commission, and it was chaired by Mark Patterson. The HCR 23 Task Force was requested to do three different things. One, study whether parole systems study whether parole system models utilized by other states might be suited for Hawaii. Two, examine and compare the minimum sentences issued by the paroling authority and the courts to determine whether there are significant differences. And three, recommend whether the administration of justice may be better served by removing the responsibility of setting minimum sentences from the Hawaii Paroling Authority, thereby enabling it to focus on determining and assisting prisoners' fitness for parole and supervision of parolees. Although that report was due to be released in October, the commission had to request an extension. The report is expected to be released next week and will be discussed at the next commission meeting. And then the last piece here, the revisions to 353L, very brief. One was to extend the oversight coordinator's term from 2 years to 4 years, which we will be trying to do again this year. And two, to ensure the oversight coordinator and commission could enter facilities at any time, regardless if there is a current investigation going on. So for project updates, very briefly, the case management system. So I have been working very diligently with a private company to custom design a case management system to intake, organize, and respond to complaints received by the commission. This work was all completely for free as it was a pro bono project, and the system was being finalized and planned to be launched in early 2024. However, with little notice, the company ended the project due to new leadership taking on the company, and they ended all pro bono work. As you can imagine, this was very devastating for me. I've been working with that company for over 2 years. But instead, we moved forward and the commission submitted funding for the 2026 legislative session to contract a company to build a case management system. And in order to figure out how much that would cost, I did meet with a private company who I thought would be a fantastic fit. And it's very customizable. They built 20% of the system, but then 80% is customizable. So it really fit our needs. So we're hoping to get that funding this year. For the correction staff and survey report, so last year the team spent significant time surveying correction staff in the facilities regarding various topics like work environment, culture, mental health, and more. Once the surveys were completed, staff went back into the facilities to conduct talk stories to better understand the solutions for the issues highlighted in the survey. The report is now complete, yay. And the commission is working with the legislature in hopes of presenting the report during an informational briefing. So thank you particularly to Kara Kapani for taking on the final report while I was on leave. That was a massive, massive report to put together, and I really appreciate her just jumping right in. The reentry report, so as stated earlier, reentry is a large core of the commission's mandate. And Kara Kampani, once again, had focused the last year on gaining information surrounding the comprehensive offender reentry program, including facility, educational, and treatment programs, rehabilitative services, work furloughs, and the Hawaii Paroling Authority's oversight of parolees. She had put together a comprehensive report that outlines where the DCR is at currently regarding reentry, in addition to outlining all findings, highlighting best practices, and offering recommendations. That report will be coming out very soon. I do not have an exact date yet, but we're very excited to get that released. And again, thank you so much to Kara Kampani for dedicating so much time and commitment to that report. It's very impressive. So that is everything for the past year. And of course, I'm here for any questions that commissioners may have. Thank you.
That last report that you done with Kara. Reentry, has that been issued out yet? See that?
So for the reentry report was submitted to the department to review for any feedback that they may have. But it is not public yet. We're still finalizing it.
Any other questions, commissioners? On that, we'll take some public comment on the annual report as presented by our oversight coordinator. Thank you, Kristen. Great job. Again, all the conversation that we had up to this point, the extent of the information that we're being provided for you folks right now is elaborate, detailed, and showed the work of the commission for all to see. Will there be any comments from the community at this time on item number 5? Yes, Kat.
Just want to say thank you so much. No other agency has ever put together such comprehensive reports. And when we look at the short amount of time that our coordinator has been here, this is really amazing. And this is the stuff we need to highlight to the legislature and the different departments, because this is crucial. If you want to know what's going on at the commission, just go to their website. It is amazing. So thank you so much to the commissioners and to Kristen, who just never quits. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you so much. Let's move on to item number 6, the urgent call for a system-wide plan before proceeding with new construction.
So the commission had put together a letter regarding this issue. This letter was included in the agenda items and also can be found on our website. This letter was sent to the legislature and the governor, and it was just placed into our chat. Thank you, George. And so we wanted to put this on the agenda in case commissioners wanted to discuss it at all, but also the public comment piece.
I think those of you remember in our last meeting, we had a conversation on the falls. And we decided that we were gonna send a letter to the governor, and this is the letter that we agreed upon and that it was sent out. And obviously it was it's already being talked about in the legislature ahead of time. And so thank you, you and your staff, Christian, for putting that letter together. Commissioners, did you have any questions on the letter or the impact that it's had so much? We've heard some of your comments already.
Yeah, we already got to submit our comments. That's the final letter incorporated in that.
Okay. So any community feedback on our letter will be accepted at this time? Go ahead, Liam.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm really impressed with the letter. I've read it now a couple of times. It's extremely well articulated, based in fact. It's thoughtful. It's hard. There's a lot that I knew needed to get in there. So we're really grateful for what this letter lays out. I do have some feedback. So let me just first start with the positive. The positive is it calls for a pause. It highlights the need for systematic overhaul and diversion. It highlights immediate actions that DCR can take to improve HCCC. That's was critical, things they can do now. And then it also, to a certain degree, highlights that DCR has, to some degree, been uncommitted and has not followed through on a number of the critical recommendations the commission has already made. So I think, and then lastly, the letter is effective in highlighting the lack of programming in jail spaces and reentry in particular. So I think those are important. Now, the feedback I have is that the cost is sort of it's something that's missing in there. It does not mention the $1 billion price tag. There's a lot of focus on that the new jail could be a center for care and treatment, cultural empowerment, all of these types of things that were in the UH Design Center report. And while those are all admirable, from the position of our coalition, two things. One, those are incredibly expensive, so we may end up north of $1 billion again. And number two is, this is the point we made last time. Most of those types of services should be done in community, not in jail. So when we think about having a low E-field and cultural empowerment, that's great, but this should be done. That type of investment should be done on the community end of the spectrum. It's confusing at points when I keep reminding myself, are we talking about prison or jail here, right? The jail is a short-term stay. Prison is a long-term stay where these types of more intensive programming, if we were going to consider them, would be appropriate, where the jail, should be, it's short-term and ultimately it's not the place to be making such significant investments. So there's that is, again, treatment should be done in community, not in jail. And then ultimately, I think the phrase diversion infrastructure is important. When we talk about diversion, it's not just a series of policy fixes that need to make place, it's budgetary investments. And as we mentioned last time, if we're talking about $1 billion plus jail, knowing how things go here at Public Works projects, it's going to be well north of $1 billion. We just don't have the money to do both. So if we're going to talk about diversion, we have to talk about the budgetary choice. If you're going to invest in mental health treatment, if you're going to invest in drug treatment, these have to happen in community settings and they cost money. And with our state's fiscal crisis, we just can't afford both. So the letter is fantastic, but I just want to remind the commission, as you go forward and engage the governor, this is going to come down to a series of budgetary choices. Lastly, our coalition is putting out a series of recommendations, reimagining public safety budget recommendations, as well as recommendations for diversion. What specific policies need to be fixed as it relates to coordination on the diversion end, and then what budgetary investments are critical to make this all work. So again, overall, very positive. I just wanted to add those reminders in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Liam. Any other comments from the Carrie-Ann?
Laura, we want to thank the commission for taking the time to write that thoughtful, contemplative letter and sending it to the governor and all lawmakers. I think that will provide much needed clarity for not only lawmakers, but also for the community. And I just want to add just one additional request. As bills are going to be introduced next legislative session, we look forward to working with you to support bills that align with the letter, the intention, looking at different strategies of decarceration. And also, since you are supporting a pause, there will be a bill asking for a moratorium. Now, I know that sometimes people are sort of leery of that terminology, but I think in effect, we're asking for the same thing, for a comprehensive look at the entire system and systems solutions, systems changes. Thank you so much, commissioners.
Thank you, Carrie-Ann. Anyone else? The commissioners, we have submitted this letter to give our opinion, our perspective to the governor on the current plans of building the jail. What it is, it's a foundational reference, Liam. That's how I look at it, right? Because when we're in the legislature, anybody in the community, anybody in state agencies could say, as Carrie-Ann so eloquently put, it's a piece of paper now that we can all reference in the issues that you said that may not have been mentioned in length in that letter, but something that can be brought up to attach to the letter that we've written. So I'm kind of excited that it's there. It's already being talked about and the commission hasn't even been called to the table yet to talk about the letter. Yeah, so it's a powerful tool as it is already. It's there purposely for us to have conversations in public hearings with the legislatures as well as behind their doors if they call upon us. But it's also for you folks to use in your advocacy for the same thing that the commission is trying to accomplish at this time. So we're very happy that, we're very happy that they're talking about it already. Yes. No further comments? Okay, we'll move on to item number 7. Thank you, community, for those comments. We need to vote on the necessity for holding a limited, okay. So we're gonna, for every facility that we have to go to, we have to do a voting process that's gonna be repetitious. It's gonna be a lot of motions and seconds. And for all our meetings in the different jurisdictions throughout the state of Hawaii. And I just want to say it's very important for us to be in those jurisdictions, to be on the Big Island, to be on Maui, to be on Kauai. And so that the community there knows that we come to them and we're in their home and we want to hear their comments as well. And they're here now on our public meeting, even though we're on Oahu. And as well as a time for us to visit those facilities. Yeah. So
public comment first?
Yeah, I'm very much that.
So before we even start this process of voting that may take us to sunrise, let's have some comments, in regards to item number 7, which is really this is where we truly are the eyes and ears for the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. This is our biggest asset to them. As an oversight commission, going in and talking one-on-one with their staff and the offenders and getting feedback on the issues that are occurring in each of those facilities and each of those jurisdictions so that we can report out and hopefully, systemic plans can be made for the changes that are needed. I'll take any comments from the community at this time, if any.
Can I make
Hearing.
one comment before you?
Go ahead.
So
I don't want to make a comment.
I just want to do a very friendly reminder. So this requirement is coming from OIP.
Some information.
Practices.
Practice.
Yes, and so this is to be in accordance with the Sunshine Law, and one thing that's really important about this process is the discussion piece. So even if you're repeating the same discussion points for every facility, which I imagine will probably happen, it is important to discuss. That was one part. I just want to make sure that we reiterate it because it's not written specifically in here.
Okay, Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm making the comment before we start voting, because we have to vote on all 8 of these. All 8 facilities are listed, but I will continue to advocate that we need to also spend time with the community-based programs as a commission. So although all 8 facilities are listed, then we need to vote on them today so that we're in accordance with Office of Information Practices requirements. There may be some that we end up not doing in lieu of visiting community programs. I agree very much with Mark. We need to be with the community also and be in their house. And that includes their community programs, not just the facilities. Thank you.
And then with that, it would be the same process. And so,
Yeah.
we would just have to, or you all would all have to go on it beforehand.
And you said it'd be about 2 meetings beforehand, yeah? that we
It could be one meeting beforehand, I think, George, right? Yeah, as long as the vote occurs before, because we gotta send in all the paperwork.
Yeah,
So but yeah,
so, but it may be that we don't visit all 8, we visit some community programs instead.
Just for clarification purposes.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want one of us to keep making the,
Hold on,
motion?
we're voting, the limited meeting is at the facility.
right,
This is not our
Yes.
public meeting.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
Right.
right. Anytime the majority of commissioners are together, it's considered a meeting. So even if you're touring a facility, it's still by OIP
Is
students?
it important that we have dates?
No, please do not.
And just to share with the public also, for each facility, there will be 2 motions made, so we have to vote on them separately, correct? So the first motion is to have limited meeting, the second motion is not to do video
you're
or
right.
anything. So
You're
please bear with us, that means there will be 16 motions, all basically the same, just the name of the facility.
Yes,
Oh, you got it already, okay. Okay, you want me to read that?
yeah. So the first motion is for the actual meeting, and then the second motion is to waive the videotaping requirement.
So do you want to select, Mark, who will make?
I'm gonna state the motion, and then I'll get a so move, and then a second,
And then discussion.
okay? And then discussion. Here we go. I move to determine that it is necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Oahu Community Correctional Center because the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to the facility's specific policy and procedures.
Second.
So,
So,
Second.
so it's been moved by, Mark Browning and seconded by Ronnie Barra.
No, it was moved by you, Mark.
No, I stated the motion.
yeah.
Yeah, and he moved, okay, any discussion? Don't need that.
No, you have to discuss.
You guys discuss.
Sorry, you have to, yeah.
Be an opportunity for discussion.
No, you have to talk about it, like why you're doing this. You literally have to.
I think it's important for us to go into the Oahu Community Correctional Center, as it is a center of much of the community issues at this time, on whether to replace it or not replace it, our continuing, inspections and visits within that facility on an annual basis, reaffirms our reasons for replacement, but also, improvement in the system that feeds it and the system that not just feeds it, but the system that's needs to be in place in order for the release of those individuals as well. Those are my comments in terms of Oahu Community Correctional Center. Any other ones for the commissioners?
If somebody could mention why it's important for all of you to tour at the same time, that's key here.
And it gives us the opportunity to speak with both staff and those incarcerated during our visits, which is very important to move our work forward.
When the commissioners, with the different backgrounds that we have, it has been interesting in the last year or two that we have been doing these tours, that the perspectives, yeah, that each of us bring, in terms of each of the judges, for their years of being part of the judicial system that sent individuals into these facilities. And for some part, not realizing the condition of the facilities that they were sending these people to help them in their, recommendations and the site and in trying to transform the system as it is today from what they experienced before and what they're seeing now. For commissioners as myself and Martha, and our experiences in public safety, it's really looking at what has happened since our departures, you know, and seeing it through Martha's departmental eyes, when I say it like that, my facility eyes, and really truly understanding that when we see a kitchen floor that is not working, we know we can understand what the problems are, all the way up to the director, you know? And that's important because unless you've had, and this is just me saying it, unless you have been in the correctional facility and have any kind of experience in managing the operations of facility care programs and human resources, it's hard to make decisions at the top level without truly understanding the mechanism that makes those facilities run. Yeah, and when we go into those facilities, this is what we see with the problems, not just the individual problem, but the systemic problem that is driving those issues. And that's why it's important for us to be there. Great. No further comment at this time. Can we, record that, so I can just play it after each one. Okay. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say same. Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passed. The
You know,
second
you have to
motion,
be able to use your recording because each facility has to be named.
Yes,
in the
I know.
Motion, yeah.
the second motion at this time, the second motion for the Oahu Community Correctional Center is that we waive the videotaping requirement because of privacy issues for the people incarcerated in the facility and for those who may be under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Move. Second.
Was moved by Mark Browning and seconded by Ronald Ibarra. Any comments at this time, Commissioner?
So we were talking about because of security, we can't bring it.
Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation policy, it goes against the videotaping of, and the confidentiality of the individuals working within a correctional environment. We don't want to cause havoc or safety issues for anyone residing within or working within a correctional facility by use of the video cameras at this time. It's important that the commission understand that those are policies of the department, and we want to specifically make that understanding here at the commission level. Any concerns?
The privacy of the individuals is what we're most concerned about.
Yes. Hearing no further comment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same. Any abstentions? Motion passed. It has been determined that it is necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Kauai Community Correctional Center because of the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to the facility-specific policy and procedures. So moved by Martha Tornay. I got a second by Mark Browning. Kauai Community Correctional Center is probably the smallest jail that we have in our state system. They have done wonderful things at that facility with limited resources. The smallest population of all the jurisdictions in the state of Hawaii, they have been uniquely able to maintain and manage their facilities, facing huge obstacles. Yeah.
And again, a correctional facility is not a public, is not open regularly to the public, and there's reasons for limiting our work there.
So,
I did that was too, have to say something.
and again, the importance of all our commissioners again, and, you know, when you look at Kauai Community Correctional Center, the judicial experience that we have here, the departmental experience and the facility experience that we have here, the multiple eyes that the commission brings as they walk into a facility. And I'll continue to say this, is that each facility brings its own concerns, its own issues, but if grouped together, it's the same systemic problems throughout the system. So going into that, not only are we looking at the facility, but we're looking at the facility through the eyes of the judges and the commission, on the commission, and looking at the system that feeds the Kauai jail and their reentry efforts from the jail. So it's crucial for all the commissioners to be there at that time. Hearing no further other discussion at this time, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions? Motion passed. The second motion, Kauai Community Correctional Center, for Kauai Community Correctional Center, is to waive the videotaping requirement because of privacy issues for the people incarcerated in the facility and for those who may be under the jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Martha, seconded by Mark. Once again, you know, privacy is the issue here for those who are being housed at the Kauai Community Correctional Center, as well for those who work there. And we want to be within the rules and regulations and policies of the department. And so videotaping will not be allowed during our visits at that time. Any further discussion?
We also ensure, as we talk to different incarcerated persons, that their privacy will be protected.
Hearing, no other, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions? Motion passed. We have found it has been determined that it's necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Hawaii Community Correctional Center because of the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to its being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to the facility-specific policy and procedures. I'm just stating the motion to somebody. Yeah, so move.
Second.
Yeah. It's been moved by Mike Town and seconded by Mark Brown. Any discussion at this time? Hawaii Community Correctional Center has been on the radar, if not more than OCCC, for the conditions that's currently going on. We have made a lot of recommendation and DCR has done a lot of things to follow up with our recommendations in order to improve the working environment, the living environment at the Hawaii Community Correctional Center. It's always important for all the commissioners to go there so that we can be of support to the system that feeds the jail there and the reentry organizations that are hopefully trying to relieve the overcrowding. So it's important for that we all be there at that time. Any further comments? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions? Motion carried. The Hawaii Community Correctional Center, we will need to waive the videotaping requirement because of privacy issues for the people incarcerated at the facility and for those who may be under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Once again, privacy. Yeah, we don't want to go in there with videotaping or when we talk to them to confidential issues. Okay, for those who reside in the facility and those who work in the facilities. Any further comment? No recording at all. It's on the policy of the DCR. Yeah, videotaping and recording. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions?
It
has to be moved first.
Yeah, that's it. We didn't move.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Don't move.
So moved by Mike Town, seconded by Mark Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Any abstentions? Motion passed. I'm sorry, that was the first one. It has been determined that it's necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Maui Community Correctional Center because the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to the facility-specific policies and procedures. Yes. Maui Community.
Yeah.
So moved by Mark Browning,
Second.
seconded by Martha. Maui Community Correctional Center, it's important for the commission to be a part and to go in there and do their inspection, and to meet the staff, to talk with the offenders that are housed there, and to look at the problems that exist, not just in the facilities, but the systems that feed these facilities and the systems that receive the bodies upon release. Important once again for the commission to be part of that inspection. Any further comment?
No.
No. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions? Motion carried. Maui Community Correctional Center, we need to waive the videotaping requirement because of the privacy issues for the people incarcerated in the facility and for those who may be under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. In this limited meeting, we want we want to be respectful for the TCR and their policies in regards to privacy and confidentiality of those who work in the facilities and those who reside in the facilities. So we're asking to waive the videotaping requirement and recording.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mark Browning and seconded by Martha. Any further discussion?
Privacy, we have to protect privacy and confidentiality.
Thank you, Martha. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say same. Motion carried. Determined that it's necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Women's Correctional Community Center because the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to facility-specific policies and procedures.
So moved.
Moved by Martha and seconded by Mike Town. Any further discussion? It's crucial for us to visit the Women's Community Correctional Center as a commission this year as we continue to see the movement of the pre-trial women from OCCC into the Women's Community Corrections as we speak. The prison is, the facility has just opened up their new cottages and new housing, and is, as stated before, we'll be managing a hybrid correctional facility of both pre-trial and sentenced felons. And so it's important to us to go in there and review and see how our female population in the state of Hawaii is moving through that facility, where they're coming from, how they're being programmed, and how they're moving out of that facility back into our communities for success.
Also at the Women's Community Correctional Center, that was where we saw the biggest improvement in a 1-year period of time to the kitchen area and to the infirmary area. They were in very, very bad condition. When we visited the first time, and the warden and staff greatly improved both of those areas in the limited budget that they had available to them. So that revisit was very important to show us that.
Yeah, again, once again, it's important that the full group attend this, provide different perspectives in these facilities so that we can provide the best robust recommendations to the department on our visits, from our visits. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same. Any abstentions? Motion carried. The Women's Correctional Community Center, we need to waive the videotaping requirement because of a privacy issue for the people incarcerated in the facility and for those who may be under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
So moved.
So moved by Mark Browning. Seconded by Ronald Ibarra. Any further discussion? Once again, we're talking about confidentiality of the people that reside and who work within the facility. We want to also be within the rules and regulations of the Department of Correction and Rehabilitation in regards to videotaping and recording. Yeah. So privacy is, of course, the biggest of importance. Any further comment? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Motion carried. Halfway there. Halfway there. It has been determined that it's necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Halawa Correctional Facility because the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to the facility's specific policies and procedures.
So moved.
So moved by Mark Browning, seconded by Mike Town. Halawa Correctional Facility has indeed been another example of a facility who has taken our recommendation and has moved forward. They're currently fixing electrical issues that they've been having over many years. Their population is low, but it's important for us to really look at Halawa in its position within our system. Looking at our sentenced felons, Halawa is really a transported, I'm gonna say, a place in the system where offenders are sent after conviction, and from there determine whether they're gonna go to Arizona or they're gonna stay. That's a place where they come back and then they're issued out into the other jails and in order to return back to the facility. So there's a lot of things that it's important for us as commissioners to go into Halawa being our central jail prison here in the state of Hawaii, to look at it. And again, once again, like the other facilities, determine the systemic, systems that feed Halawa and that, receive the offenders upon release back into our community so that we can help manage and maintain the population of that facility.
It also gives us the opportunity to see when progress is being made, and Warden Kulani has really put a lot of effort into expanding the educational opportunities. And I have not seen the educational system, the area as active as it has been under Warden Kulani. So we appreciate that opportunity to be able to view these improvements.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same. Motion carried. The second, Halawa Correctional Facility, we need to waive the videotaping requirement because of privacy issues for the people incarcerated in the facility and for those who may be under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So moved by Mark Brown. Second by Mike Town. Once again, privacy issues for those who reside and for those who work within the facilities of importance to the commission. It's also a ruling of the DCR or policy that no videotaping or recording occur within their facilities.
Wait a minute, are we still on the first motion or the second?
Second.
First motion.
Second.
Did we vote on the second?
Yes.
Did we vote on the first?
Yes.
Oh, okay. For Halawa, I didn't think we did.
So we're on the second motion for Halawa for videotape.
Okay.
Good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions? Motion carried. It is necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Kulani Correctional Facility because of the on-site inspection is necessary and public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secure facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to facility-specific policies and procedures. So moved by Mark Browning, seconded by Mike Town. Kulani Correctional Facility, of course, is one of our minimum security facilities up there on the slopes of the volcano. It's really important for us to be there as a commission to see Kulani as one of our reentry portals. Yeah, and to look at it. I do know in our visits there, it's probably, it is the oldest correctional facility that we have in the system, but it's also the most well-maintained facility. We're very impressed by the staff of Kulani and the environmental hardships that they have at that facility.
And the farm program, the farm.
And the farm, and very impressed how they been able to manage and maintain that facility to the many challenges that the state has given Kulani probably in the past 2 decades. Yeah,
I remember it was closed down for part of
that's
that.
what I was talking about. Yes.
And so, get to see the nene and their wild pigs, right?
Yeah, the most important part.
So,
And the Nene Kukai.
so, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same, abstentions, same. Motion passed. Kulani Correctional Facility, we need to waive the videotaping requirement because of the privacy issues for the minimum incarceration in the facility. And for those who have made it under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So moved by Mark Browning, seconded by Martha Renee. Once again, it's important that we understand the privacy of the offenders that are housed at the Kulani Correctional Facility as well as the staff that are working there. We want to stay within the limits of the policy of not videotaping or recording any of the individuals residing or working within that facility. Any further comment?
And also that the, those incarcerated have the opportunity to talk to us confidentially.
Right.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Any abstentions? Motion passed. It has been determined that it's necessary to hold a limited meeting at the Waiawa Correctional Facility because the on-site inspection is necessary and the public attendance is impractical due to it being a locked and secured facility. Also, public attendance is not allowed without an official reason due to the facility-specific policies and procedures. So moved by Mark Browning. Second by Mike Town. Waiawa Correctional Facility is our second minimum security facility. Again, hats off to Warden Ornelas and the work that he's doing there with the population that he has. Again, it's another portal for our inmates returning from Halawa and Arizona on their journey for reentry back into the facility, public. Their vocational programming, their substance abuse treatment programs are very outstanding. And we need to be there as a commission to really truly understand Waiawa as a portal, the judicial system that feeds it and receives the returning offenders as they leave Waiawa, and the system that feeds Waiawa. It's important for us to, as a whole commission, to be there and to lend our perspective on what's working and what's not working. Any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed. I want to breathe real quick. Let's go. I want to see some clapping from the internet. It is important that Waiawa Correctional Facility that we waive the videotaping requirement because of privacy issues for the people incarcerated in the facility and for those who may be under jurisdiction of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mark Brown and seconded by Mike Town. Again, we want to remind ourselves of the privacy of those who are residing within Waiawa Correctional Facility, as well as those who are working within the facility, confidentiality, and the rules of the DCR of not videotaping or recording and keeping our conversations with the offenders confidential. Yeah. Any further comment? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed.
Good job.
For
Thank you, Mark.
30-minute break at the start. No, I'm just kidding. Let's move on. Thank you, folks, for sitting through that with us. Our schedule is set. We're excited again for 2025 to come out and visit all of you in your home islands and visit those employees. And then we have already developed a relationship with each of those facilities to hear their concerns and advocate for their needs. We're at item number 8. Thank you, folks in the community who have stayed with us for this length of time. We are going to open up for public comment that you may have strong on your heart at this time that's not on the agenda. So for the commissions to look into and perhaps putting it on our agenda for next meeting. Any comments at this time? Roll call. Ron?
I wanted to follow up on the meeting last month where Martha Torney talked about coordinating the testimony at legislature. We on the Big Island plan to fly our people in to be that, but we, coordination would really help us if we knew in advance, when we should be there and how we can coordinate so that all of us can speak in a strong voice to the legislature that brings about the results, because the train has already left the station and it's worried about how this money for the prison it has already been planned. So I think it'll need a huge effort, and so we rely on people who know the system better and will help us be informed of when to go and coordinate our testimony. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. If I can respond to that, I agree. More coordination would be helpful for sure. And so I think what we'll do is we're gonna add a part on our website for legislative priorities. So on that website, I think, or on the part of the website, I think we can include upcoming hearings that the commission will either testify at or that's relevant to the commission. We can also include the different bills that the commissioners have taken on.
And copies of the testimony.
And copies of the testimony from the commission. So I agree, Ron, so I will add that in, quickly. I don't know exactly, it'll be quick. One thing I do want to say is that the commission will be attending the WAM and FIN hearings next week. Those are hearings that are not open for testimony, but the commission will be at the WAM hearing on Tuesday, the 14th, and also the FIN hearing on Thursday, the 16th, regarding our budget request. I don't know if we'll be called up for questions, but we'll be prepared in case we are. But yes, thank you for bringing that up, Ron. We'll make sure that we're on that this year.
The next week, maybe the week after, is when the Senate Ways and Means and House Finance will be, looking at the budgets of the individual departments or state agencies. So if you look at the legislative website, whenever you see the Attorney General being presented or having a hearing, we fall under the Attorney General. So whenever the Attorney General as a group is being called up, the commission will be part of that group. Yeah, that's for those of you who we're gonna be listing those on the website as well. Those dates that you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been on that tab that we're gonna create for the website that you folks can monitor and manage our journey through the legislative session this year. Right. Okay, Ron, we'll keep in touch. Any other comments? That was a good comment, Ron. Thank you. Everybody's quiet. You know, I think I'm gonna do a lot of motions next time before public testimony. Wear you guys down, wear us down. No, hey, you know, I'm very positive about what 2025 has to offer. You know, our first week in the, you know, even before Ledge opens, we're already getting a lot of feedback. It's interesting. We have 3 reports that we haven't even submitted yet. Yeah, that will be coming out. The HCR 23 task force, the staff surveys, and the re-entry. And I guarantee you, we're gonna have a lot more conversations at the Ledge when those reports come out.
And they will be posted not less than 7 days before the next meeting.
Yes,
So we ask that you review them also.
yeah, you know, and we're waiting for the right, those individuals that we want them to review before we actually do the public posting. When you look at those 3 reports, you look at the annual report that we have just put out. Thank you, Kat, for the comments that you made earlier. As the chair of the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission, I'm very proud of our staff. Yeah, we had staff for literally 2 years now. And the amount of information that they have been producing in 2 years' time with the short budget that we have. And we are a major discussion point prior to the opening of legislation. Yeah, so I want you folks to join with the commissioners in appreciation and aloha for our staff and for the work that they have done. Yeah. So that when we are questioned at the legislative session, it's easy for us to go, ask her. No, but thank you, George. Thank you, Kara. Kara is that lei of aloha that we throw into the ocean to see if that we ever return back to Hawaii, because she always tells us she's gonna go and then she still shows up to work. So we're just gonna love her as that lei that returns back to the shoreline, just doesn't wanna leave. Okay, and I don't blame her, you know, it's one of those decisions, and Christian went home for Christmas in Michigan. You know, it's like, do we say cold or do we say hot? Cold, hot. What do we want to do? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Our next meeting will be Thursday, February 13th.
Well, real quick, sorry. For the next meeting, the commission did discuss having a legislative priorities commission meeting on January 30th.
Okay.
So I just wanted to double check to make sure the commissioners are all good with that still for January 30th at 9 a.m. And that meeting will only, that's very specific for bills that the commission would like to testify on.
Okay.
Be here again?
Yeah,
Maybe 9 o'clock, yeah?
Yeah, 9 o'clock, and, Martha and Mark and I will be taking the lead on pulling the bills that are relevant to the commission and the commissioner as well.
Thank you.
And as, many of these participants, especially Kat, know, we also rely on you sharing some information with us and Carrie Ann, because there are bills that we miss that you're able to bring our attention to. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
January 30th.
yep.
Ron, you can help with that too.
Yeah.
Ron, we appreciate your input too on bills that you want us to testify. or
Mark, I have
testify. Thank you.
I can give it to an arbitration.
I think we're.
Yeah, that's it.
So January 30th, legislative meeting, 9 a.m. It'll be posted on the website. And then our next meeting will be here on Oahu, Thursday, February 13th, at 9 a.m. With no further ado, take a good look at the commissioners. We're all present here. This is how we look prior to legislation. In February, we might not look the same. Or her, but she will. So, aloha, everyone. Thank you for your support, for being here. Your presence is important. And we'll see you again, next week perhaps. Aloha.
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 Thank you, George, too.